It's Wolf, and I'm back with some more inFamous 2 UGC stuff. So I have actually properly figured out now how to make, share, and download UGC missions without using the official UGC server, because that is shutting down in a little over a month. So in this video, I'm going to show you guys how to do that on RPCS3, which is the PlayStation 3 emulator. I know it might seem kind of odd that I'm covering this first using an emulator, because I really don't make many videos about emulators, but the process for this should be very similar on a modded PS3, and my modded PS3 is just buried right now. So I'm going to try to make a video about this on an actual PlayStation 3 in the future, but this process should be really similar between RPCS3 and an actual PS3, because all it involves pretty much is just putting files in the right folder. So before I get started though, I want to give a couple of shout outs. One to Shanzanos on Game Banana for uploading this archive of UGC missions, which is also available on archive.org and was originally made by Little Big Archive. So this was actually how I kind of realized that my tutorials previously using save files were incorrect, because these work in a totally different way. But yeah, I just wanted to mention that these are here, and you can download a whole bunch of missions, but I would still suggest to save missions to your own console to save them for the future, because this doesn't have every single UGC mission. So let's get started. So I'm going to jump into RPCS3. So actually the first thing we're going to need to do is update inFamous 2. So I already have inFamous 2 updated to the newest version, but I'm going to update Fallout New Vegas just to show you guys the process that I used, because you're going to want to have it updated to the newest version just so that way everybody's kind of on the same page with it, and also so that way you have access to all of the UGC features. But the way that I updated inFamous 2 on here was I use this program called Rusty. There's a written tutorial on how to do it on the RPCS3 website, and that might give you some more in-depth explanation if you want to spend some more time looking at it. On a normal PS3, you're just going to want to update it like normal. But with Rusty, it asks you for the serial number. So like I said, I'm going to do Fallout New Vegas just because I haven't updated Fallout New Vegas, but in your case, you're going to want to do inFamous 2, but it's the same for any game that you want to update. So I'm going to right click on it, do copy info, copy serial, and then I'm going to paste that serial number into here, search for updates, and there's 2 updates. So I'm going to download both of these. I don't know if with all games if you have to download updates in order, but it's kind of a good idea to download them one at a time and then update them in order, just in case like something's missing or whatever. I don't know for sure if you have to do that, but it's for the best probably. So those both downloaded, and they are going to be in packages. And let's see here. This one is 06, so this one should come first. We can just drag this right into the window, and we'll hit install. Now it's updated Fallout New Vegas to 1.06, and then we can do this one, and now 1.07. So it's the same process as inFamous 2. You would just get the serial from your copy of inFamous 2 and do it that way. But anyway, now let me show you guys how the actual UGC stuff works. So firstly, we gotta launch the game. So I've launched the game, and you can see no network connection because we're not connected to the internet, because RPCS3, I don't know if RPCS3 can even connect to PlayStation Network, but anyway, that doesn't matter because we don't need that anyway. So firstly, I'm going to show you guys how to share the missions that you've made, and then the second part of this video, I'm going to show you guys how to download missions and play those. It is actually so much easier than the save file stuff that I did before, but let me go and recreate Zap Zeke once more real quick, and I'll be right back. inFamous 2 doesn't really run that great on RPCS3, by the way, but like I said, this was the easiest way for me to demonstrate this stuff, and I'm going to try to do it on a proper PS3 in the near future. So by the way, as you can see, don't have any UGC missions downloaded or anything, so this is just completely blank slate. So I've remade Zap Zeke, which is pretty much a mission where you just zap Zeke until he passes out, or in this case, you can toss him into the water. So let me show you guys how it works. It's a really simple mission, just to test it. In this case, we should be able to just launch Zeke into the water, and that will count as incapacitation, I think. Maybe not. There we go. Now he's incapacitated. So mission completes when Zeke gets incapacitated. So that's a very simple UGC mission, but that's what we're going to be using to test all this out. So now we want to save the mission, and we can exit the mission creator, go ahead and save it again, and now it shows up. And I think you also want to save your game. I'm not sure if you have to save your game, but it seems to work better if you do. I'm not sure if it's related or not. But anyway, so now we have our mission and we've saved it. And let me show you guys where you can grab it out of to share it with other people. So exit the game, and then in RPCS3, you're going to want to go to Open Folder, Open Game Data Folder. Now this is where it should be really similar on a PlayStation 3 that's been modded, because you should be able to access these same folders on a modded PS3. When you do it on RPCS3, it opens up two folders here. You need to go to the one that has the serial number _ install, so you can actually close out of this folder completely. Then you go to USRDIR, then you go to UGC, missions, and in here you will find a .ium file. This is your mission file. You also can go into temp, and for some reason it seems to save files in here too, but you can actually delete these you don't need these. But yeah, so this is actually the mission file for the mission that you just made, and one of the ways you can actually tell which mission it is in case you've made multiple missions is it will actually have a timestamp for the time that it was made. And the cool thing about this is you can actually rename these files and they still work, so it's not one of those things where the name has to be specific or anything. So in order to keep track of them, you can actually rename them and they will still work, at least on RPCS3. Like I said, haven't fully tested this on PS3, but on RPCS3, you can rename them and they'll still work. And let me show you guys that. Let me load back into the game real quick and you'll see what I'm talking about. So the game is booted back up and we can go into user-generated content, my missions, and there is ZapZeek. So even though we renamed the IUM file, it still shows up just like we left it. And we can launch back into it, edit it, play it. Works fine. So you can rename the IUM files to the name of whatever your mission is, and it just makes it easier to keep track of. Once you have your IUM file, this is actually the only thing you need to share in order to share your mission. So you could put it into a zipped folder or something if you need to. You could upload just this file individually to a lot of places, I think. And that is pretty much it for the making part of it. And then you could put it on Game Banana or another one of the websites that has mods or missions or whatever. I've been using Game Banana for this stuff just because it's really easy to make new game categories on there, and they already had an inFamous 2 category. But at some point in the future, I'll probably modify it a little bit, but I'm going to re-upload ZapZeek properly this time as an IUM file for other people to play. So now let's jump to the other half of this tutorial, which is downloading missions and playing them. So this is also pretty easy. I'm going to go to the community archive that's on archive.org, because you don't actually have to download the entire thing on archive.org. If you go into here and then go view contents, so this archive is actually like the entire copy of somebody's UGC folder, but you don't need the entire UGC folder. You can just grab individual missions. So when I was testing this out, I just grabbed like 10 missions or 15 missions, I think, and so I'm just going to do that again. By the way, so some of these in this big archive are in like different spots in the UGC creator thing, but I've found that I've had the best luck just putting them right into this missions folder, not any of these other folders, and they seem to work best that way. So let me download like 10 or so of these and then I'll show you guys what I'm talking about. Okay, so I've downloaded 12 of those. So in case you've forgotten, or you didn't watch the first half of this video and you just want to learn how to download missions, I'm going to go to Open Folder again, Open Game Data Folder. Make sure you're in the Install folder, USRDIR, UGC, Missions, and then you're going to drop your missions into here. So let me open up my downloads. And these are all the IUM files that I downloaded. So there's like 12 of them. I downloaded 12 because depending on where you are in the game, you have access to certain areas of the map. And if you haven't unlocked the whole map, you can't play all of the UGC missions, even the ones that you've like downloaded like this. So we'll move all those into missions. And when we launch the game, they should show up in my missions, like missions that we've created. Here we are in inFamous 2 once again, and now when we go to user-generated content and my missions, all of these missions that we downloaded have shown up. So let me find one. So here's one, Cole the Hedgehog. This is in an area of the map that you unlock at the beginning of the game, so we can play this one. But as you can see, some of the ones that are in other spots are locked until you progress in the story. But Cole the Hedgehog we can play right now. So we'll launch into editing and then play mission from start. And welcome to Cole the Hedgehog. This is Stage 1, Act 1, St. Ignatius Zone. Collect the rings and beat the time. Rate this high and I'll make another with a boss battle. Hope you have fun. Ready, go. So this mission is pretty much just a race, but yeah, so as you can see, this mission was downloaded from the internet. All we did was put it into the missions folder, and it works fine. In a lot of ways, it's actually kind of surprisingly similar to some PC games that have built-in mods folders where you just drop the mods into the mods folder. This actually works shockingly easily, at least on RPCS3. And if you want to get rid of missions, you can just delete them from this folder, and then when you launch back into the game, they will be gone, or you can delete them from within the game, and it'll delete them in this folder. So that's pretty much the entire process for making UGC missions to share and downloading UGC missions and how to play them on RPCS3. As I said, I know that doing this on an emulator isn't perfect because inFamous 2 doesn't really run that well on RPCS3, but this process should be really similar on an actual modded PS3 because you should be able to find these folders on there and do pretty much the same thing. But I'm going to dig out my modded PS3, try to make a tutorial on there. Hopefully everything works the same way. But yeah, thanks for watching. I'll see you in other stuff in the future. I hope you found this useful, and bye-bye.